the participants of the Forum of the Psychiatric Reform welcome you, and we deeply thank you for your presence and willingness to share with us our concern about mental health issues. Our presence today can be seen in three parallel levels, aiming at a common objective. So you can see the three parallel levels is the European Parliament, one, the mental health platform is the second, and the experts is the third. Now, explaining this, why European Parliament? Because the European Parliament has the will and the power to express the rights and demands of the citizens and to support them through a democratic function. However, for almost 2 years, we haven't heard almost anything from the European Parliament supporting whatever we are passing in the southern countries due to the crisis. But we know that there is the will, there is the power, and today's meeting proves that. Why the experts? Because the Greek state functions with no long-term national planning. Instead, it functions with short-sighted party criteria. With this reality, only an outsider, especially a European, can really put pressure on the obligations of the governments to respect the principles and values of the human dignity and existence, especially the individuals who consist the vulnerable groups. That's why we thought that participating with us in this effort that we are doing, it's going to have an effect. But for the European Parliament to be effective and the experts to play the role, a national and local platform of the ones concerned are needed. And this is another weak point of the Greek reality. However, since October and December 2012, with the contribution of the European Network Asklepios and the Mental Health Europe, under the serious threat of a collapse of the psychiatric reform in Greece, the Forum of the Psychiatric Reform was formed by professionals, users, and their families and carers. The aim was to establish the basic communication which needs to be created and sustained among ourselves, and to try to systematize our approach to defend the collapse of the mental health services, which were established during the last 30 years. These three levels lead to the need of the establishment of a European alliance, which will act on a European level and on a local national level. Another parameter which makes the establishment of a European alliance necessary, and it concerns not only Greece, but Europe, as well as the omission of mental health from the Health for Growth program, which was announced for 2014-2020 of the European Union. I'm not sure that European Union has reconsidered it and has put that mental health issues should be a European policy. So today, at this meeting, we hope that we will reach a level of not only exchanging ideas, experience, and expertise, but to produce a timetable of actions, roughly speaking, which will enrich our monthly Greek meetings, and at least to plan the next meeting with the same today's participation in 6 months. This planning will show that the Adore Lycourgeous Agreement, the MIP, the Mechanism of Psychargos Support, the MIP work, the proposals that came out of the evaluation of the ongoing implementation of the National Action of Psychargos 2011-2015, and the willingness of the Ministry of Health, Department of Mental Health nowadays, to support the sustainability and better function of the mental health services, these elements, can work on a realistic and short-term, long-term as well, business plan, which will guarantee the implementation and continuation of the Greek psychiatric reform. So that's the first really plan that we are aiming as the platform for psychiatric reform. To complete the introductory thoughts that I'm putting today at this table, we as professionals, users, families, policymakers should consider our obligation to cooperate in order to face the challenges created by the crisis, economical, social, political. The consequences of the crisis could be seen in 5 levels. 5 circles, you can see it as in circles, each one included in the other and influencing each other in a very complex way. So in fact, we have the human being who suffers from the crisis. We have the management of the crisis on a political level, which is a play that exists really on a political level. The management of the crisis on economical level, which is the banks and what they are really planning. The European Union, that they really have the power to do something as a European Union. And, of course, the trend of the globalization, which shows that problems are created Western countries, Eastern countries that are promoted and are really taking part and strength in this globalized situation. So in fact, we have really to find the power, to find the willingness to cooperate so that we can really have the strength to face the local, the national needs, but also to consider what are the global issues that influence the whole situation. Thank you very much for your coming.